God damn, that's nuts.
To the ropes, Marciano decides to try some uppercuts. Watch. Roland, still plenty game, will punch off the ropes and counter with his own right. First $1 million game since the famous Dempsey Tunney long count battle in Chicago 8 years before. By the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my friends? It's CASSPORTS again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, Mike Magic, Real Prison Talk with Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Trump. Salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of CASSPORTS, The Box Story. Today, Canelo Alvarez versus the Legends. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's The Box Story, bringing you all of that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone? Monday afternoon, starting out another big week of boxing history. Today is Fantasy Matchups Monday, and we got Canelo Alvarez versus the Legends. Now, Canelo went from 147 all the way up to 175, so we got a wide selection, you know. They are the legends that fought in those ranges are eligible to go up against Canelo today. We got 15 of them, got like 3 from the current era. You know, Benavidez is one of them. I don't know why everybody just thinks that Benavidez is just going to walk through Canelo for some reason, you know. Ain't no guarantee that he would beat Canelo. But, you know, Canelo just want to get paid. Can't blame him. So that was everybody's weekend. Hope it went well. I thought Alicia Baumgartner, I thought Sandy Ryan and Michaela Mailer was Friday. I thought Alicia Baumgartner and Delphine Pursoon was Saturday. I missed it. But I heard they was good fights. Yeah, Trump, I did that when I did Oscar. I did De La Hoya and Canelo. 12 rounds I had Oscar. Yeah, I think I had Oscar beating Canelo. So we won't see that one. We did that one already. Technique in the building. Salute Technique. I do too, Technique. Yep. I didn't want to give it away, but since you said it, I think Canelo beats him too. So many people has just said that Benavidez is just going to walk through him, and no, I don't think so. He ain't stopping Canelo. Nobody is stopping Canelo. That's about the best chin ever. Never been knocked down, never been stopped, never even really been hurt. You know, some of those punches Triple G put on him didn't hurt him. So no, Canelo, there will be no stoppages today. I can tell you that right now. Big Supreme, hashtag AMCFSG in the building, okay? There's another one for Canelo over Benavidez. Big Supreme says, I think Canelo can beat him. Yeah, I do too. BBO Boxing TV. What's happening, BBO Boxing TV? BBO has Tim Weatherspoon tonight. Interview with Big Tim Weatherspoon tonight. I'll be over there for that one. BBO gets some fire interviews. That should be good tonight. Big Tim Weatherspoon. I'm going to try to talk a little about Tim today, like the last half hour or so. But salute BBO Boxing TV in the building. Hashtag JBT, that is. We're going to start in about 10 minutes. Anybody seen Lonnie Lee yet? Oh, I know T. Hill said his work schedule had changed. But, you know, everybody can't sit up there and work on YouTube with that earpiece in the air. Some jobs don't play that. So, Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? Everybody pouring in here today. People seem to like these fantasy matchup Mondays. The last week was the first Monday. But I got the one show when I did the I think it was the best fighters that never won a championship. I got like almost 3,000 views on that one. Wow. I didn't even know. Jay Hardcore told me in a meeting one time. The Cash, you know, you got like over 2,000 views and it's still going. It was the one, the best fighters that never won a title. Yeah, it was someone that listed I didn't know. Like Donovan Razor Reddick, I just knew he had a title, but no, he didn't. And then there was one had like a 90-something% knockout rate. I can't remember his name. He didn't have a title. You would have think with a 90-something% knockout rate, he would have stopped somebody and took somebody's title. But no, sure didn't. But appreciate everybody that's rocking with me today. Hope you enjoy the show. Canelo Alvarez against the Legends. Y'all see my Ravens yesterday? Buffalo came in there, had an average margin with a victory. Like they had outscored their opponents in the first 3 games by 50 points. The Ravens beat them, 35-10? Stomped them. Yeah. That's how good the Ravens can be, but they are very inconsistent. They had only been playing one half, and they tried to blow it yesterday, but Buffalo just messed up worse than they did. But yeah, that was a good game. That was a Sunday night game. Buffalo at Baltimore, and the Ravens stomped. I was worried because Buffalo was playing like the best team in the league through the first 3 weeks, but good game. Did Dallas win yesterday? But how's everybody? What we got coming up this weekend? I think it's Janaback. Then you know what next week is? Next week is fight week for the big light heavyweight showdown. Duval and Beterbiev. That's up on us already. Next week. I got Duval. Who y'all got in that one? Thomas Hill got Beterbiev. Yeah. Yeah, Ernest Shavers too. Yeah, Ernest Shavers packed a punch, man. He probably the hardest puncher ever, Ernest Shavers. I don't even think Duval punches harder than Ernest Shavers. Everybody that fought him back in the 70s automatically said that was the hardest person they had been punched by, Ernest Shavers. Yeah, never had a title, Big Supreme, that's right. Never had a title. But he fought in the wrong era, you know. This era, Ernest Shavers would probably be undisputed. Yeah, but I think Ron Lyle never had one. Jerry Corey, all those guys would have titles now. Shelterman, Jerry Cooney never had one. They would all have titles in this era, but they were just in that era, man. The greatest era ever of heavyweight, the 70s. And overall, all those champions from the 70s, majority of them in the Hall of Fame. Look at Roberto Duran came through the 70s. 72 fights, only 1 loss. The Hands of Stone. 72 fights, only 1 loss. That's Esteban de Jesus. And then he avenged them. They had a trilogy. He won the last 2. Esteban was the only man to ever beat Roberto at lightweight. Only one to beat him in the 70s, too. Yeah. But Roberto got 2 of the 3 of the trilogies. We talked about that last week. Remember, I think it was Wednesday. Thursday, we did the trilogy show. Yeah, that was one of them. Roberto Duran and Esteban de Jesus. Yeah. That was one of the top trilogies of all time. Esteban de Jesus was trained by Wilfred Benitez's father, Gregory. Came out of that gym down there. Yep, only 2 belts. Big Supreme, that's it. So it was hard. They didn't have no 20 belts in each division, like, the green, intercontinental, European, Spanish belt. They didn't have that kind of stuff back then. It was the WBA and the WBC, man. But now, they just invent belts. Every time you turn on boxing, it's another belt, a new belt. Anytime you see a prospect with 4 fights, standing there with a belt on his shoulders. What belt? How'd you get a belt with 4 fights? But they got them. And wear it proudly. They wouldn't even have worn a belt like that back in the old days. WBA, WBC. Then I think around 82, the IBF came in. And then in the later 80s, the WBO. But it took like 14 years before the other 3 recognized the WBO because of the type of guys they were having as champions. They were just giving the belts to anybody. So finally, about 2000, 2, something like that. The other 3 recognized it. But they recognized the IBF right away because, they looked at their champions as legitimate and everything. Yeah, but then that's when we got the 4, and then we got the interims and the regulars and the supers and the super dupers and all kind of stuff nowadays, man. Everybody got a belt. Nowadays it seems like every fight that happens is for some kind of belt. That's ridiculous, ain't it? You go watch boxing and the first fight on the card, you got like a 6-fight card, all 6 of them for some kind of belt. Come on, man. That's what makes the sport so watched down. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do Boxing? The Voice. Coming up at 4 p.m. We are talking about Canelo Alvarez versus the Legends. Let me give a warning to Canelo fans. You might not enjoy this too much. He's going to take some L's. Okay. Because he's going up against James Toney and Roy Jones and B-Hop and Thomas Hearns and Nick Tiger, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Carlos Monzon, Jake LaMotta. So, yeah, man. I'm not trying to get it your way, but I don't think Canelo beats any of them. None of them. Okay. Then I got like 3 from this era. He might pull out a couple of L's against a couple of guys. I got David Morrell and David Benavidez. I think we'll get Benavidez when Canelo is ready to hang it up. He's going to cash out. He's going to get that big money for that fight and then go off into the sunset. I got him winning it. Okay? I got him beating Benavidez. I talked to so many people that's got Benavidez just walking through Canelo. I don't understand that. But what's happening this weekend? I know Janabek is fighting this weekend. Let's look at that right quick. Then we're gonna get started. Yeah, Janabek. I saw his name somewhere that he's fighting Saturday. We've been getting those Friday cards the last couple of weeks. When have we got some this week? Let's look at the schedule for this weekend real quick. Yeah, I saw Janabek somewhere. I can't remember where. There it is. Real quick. I don't know who he's fighting. Janabek always in some good fight. There he is. Janabek is fighting Andre Mikhailovich. Okay. 12 rounds. Janabek got the IBF at 160. Ooh, another Friday card. That's Friday too. All right. Nick Ball is making his first defense. I told you it's going to be England. Those guys from the UK get those belts. If you want it, you got to go over there and get it. Now, Nick won it on Riyadh season, but he told Turkey, forget Riyadh season. I'm taking this belt home and defending it. They get that home cooking over there, but yeah. For Nick's, what is that? The featherweight, right? Yeah, Nick has a WBA. Jack Rafferty on the card. A bunch of UK fighters. Yeah, I don't even know half of them. Matter of fact, only one I know is Nick Ball, but that's Saturday. Okay. Yeah. So, we got another Friday card. So, Janabek. And then next week is fight week for the big one. The big light heavyweight showdown. I got Bivol in that one. In Australia. Oh, that's in Australia? Yeah, Mikhailovich. Okay, big screen. Is Janabek from Australia? What's up? I know he's somewhere over that way. Is it Australia? I'm not sure. I don't know where Janabek is from. Okay, the Big Supreme says in Australia. Or ESPN Plus too. Okay. Let's get ready to see what Canelo can do against them legends. He in the hot seat this week. Next week, the matchup will be the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran against the legends. I know the young man related to Calvin Ford, Tank's trainer, had asked me about Tank and Roberto Duran, so we will see that next week. Tank versus Roberto Duran. I'm going to try to be unbiased. As I told y'all, I would have Tank versus King Kong. Tank by first round knockout over King Kong and Godzilla on the same night. So I'm going to try to be unbiased. We'll do my best. Okay. Let's well talk about this raffle because it's next week. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Yeah, it's here. So you better get your tickets. You got 2 weeks left. 2 weeks exactly. It's the 4th, 12th. This weekend is the 4th. It's the October 12th. Okay. So get your tickets. Here's what you can win. Okay.
You buy the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Kenichi Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
Okay. He's from Kazakhstan. Okay. Oh, right. I don't know why they're fighting in Australia. I was thinking, maybe the other guy's from there. Okay, Kazakhstan. That's over there. Over there near Russia, somewhere like that, I think. I'm not sure. But that's where Janet Beck is from. Okay. Big Dre in the building. Salute Big Dre. Hashtag JBT. It is Melanin Queen 27 in the building. Hello, Melanin Queen 27. Miss Cass says, good afternoon back. Good afternoon, Cass. Miss Cass in the chat. Man. All right. Good afternoon, Melanin Queen 27. How are you today? And Big Dre. Hashtag JBT. I got to call you, Big Dre, because it said I had to convert it to another side. I couldn't get it in. Me and technology. I got the commercial in, but the other 2 things sent in, the wrong sides and stuff. But I'll give you a call because I can't get them on there. I want them bad too. Fantasy Matchups Monday. Big Dre made me a fire introduction to this about Fantasy Matchups Monday. I wanted y'all to see that bad. That thing is. But we will have it on there by next Monday. Roberto Duran versus the Legends. But today, Canelo. Now, I warned any hardcore Canelo fans, I warned you. Because, I told you, Hagler and Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard and Robinson. I didn't put Duran because, Duran prime was mainly like lightweight down there, and Canelo never been down that far, so. And welterweight, Duran was like getting a little bit past his prime by the time he got up there, especially when he went up to like middleweight, 160, all up in there, yeah. So this is prime, so yeah, we didn't get Duran. But next week he'll be fighting a lot of lightweights. Light Tank. BN Boxing News in the building. Salute BN Boxing News. How are you today? We're getting ready to talk about Canelo versus these legends. Saul Canelo Alvarez. The face of boxing. Canelo's still the face. Yeah. Most popular guy out there, I would say, right now. He's making the most money, that's for sure. Yeah, I didn't get it, Big Dre, because it said it, but I got it from you, but I didn't get it on. It says I had to convert it or something. Then when I tried to convert it, I was lost. But the commercial went on fine. I don't know why I couldn't get that or the introduction on there. But we'll get it together. It's 2:30, almost 2:30, about time to get started. I appreciate everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Canelo Alvarez versus the Legends. Okay, too much slide to play. Let's play. Got a picture of everybody he going up against and everything. Yep. It's Canelo. Kind of look mean. Yeah, no knockouts though. Nobody is stopping Canelo. I don't care who it is. Even got up against Beterbiev in here. I would think Beterbiev would beat Canelo, but the question would be, with that 100% knockout rate, would he be able to stop Canelo? That's a good question. Anybody think Beterbiev would stop Canelo? That chin he got? Look at it. It looked like a block of granite. Anybody think Beterbiev would stop Canelo? Or would that 100% knockout rate be gone when he come up against Canelo? I had him beating Canelo, but I don't know about the stopping. I seen Triple G land some stuff on Canelo that would drop most boxers, but Canelo just looked at him and swung back at him. You know, I probably would still be sleeping. And that fight was like a couple years ago. Some of the stuff Triple G hit him with. Definitely one of the top chins in boxing. Him and Jake LaMotta too. They could be the top two, 1, 2. Either way you want to call it. Who's one, who's two, but you're him and Jake LaMotta, two of the tougher fighters ever. They're in here. But let's get started. Canelo Alvarez versus the Legend. Okay. Now, Canelo has fought in a wide range of weight classes. Okay. He began his professional boxing career at 147, and he's fought as high as 175. Did he go to cruiserweight? I don't think so. He was going to fight that guy at cruiserweight, but I don't think he did. Remember the African guy? Yeah, but he has been as high as 175. Okay. Now, what was it? Yeah. So let's take a look at how weight classes work in boxing before we get started, okay? Let's take a look at how they work. Weight class. Now, weight classes are used to classify boxers of different weights. They are used in an attempt to make fair fights in stature between fighters of similar heights and ages. Now, it is generally considered easier for older fighters to move up weight classes as weight becomes harder to lose, bone density increases, and muscle mass is retained, as you get older, right? Now, there are upper and lower limits for each division, except for the heavyweight division, where there is no upper limit. Now, there are traditional and tweener divisions, with some established for many decades, and some more recent, such as the heavyweight division. Now, when he's fighting these guys from like the 50s, all of those are going to be at 160 because they didn't have 168. 168 didn't come out till the late, I think it was 1968. 168 was developed in 68, I believe. Yeah, late 60s though. So all these guys, Sugar Ray, Jake LaMotta from the 50s, Dick Tiger will be at 160 because we had no 168. Okay. Yeah, some of these weight classes have been established for decades, though, and some more recently. Like Bridgerweight goes in between cruiserweight and heavyweight. Did they ever make that? Because I know they've been talking about it. That's just for more money, though. But we need another weight class for Bridgerweight. And whoever has their belt, got to give up their cash to their sanctioning body. The winning titles at multiple weight classes is a major achievement, and it makes the fighter a multiple division champion. Okay, last thing before we get started, let's take a quick look at Canelo's career real quick, okay? Okay, Trump says, Saul versus Trinidad, 168 would have been fun. When Trinidad get off the canvas to win. Oh, he always did that, didn't he, Trump? Seemed like he had to get knocked down before he started fighting Felix. You know, a good idea, you're fighting Felix, don't knock him down. Because you knock him down, you're in trouble. If I was a fighter fighting Felix, I would try not to knock him down. That was when he was his toughest, when he got up off that canvas. But Canelo is in his 19th year of professional boxing and is the most well-known boxer in the world of all the currently active fighters. He has 66 fights in his pro career with 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, and 39 knockouts. Now he's a multiple weight world champion, including becoming the first and the only boxer in history to be the undisputed champion at super middleweight, 168. Now, Canelo is known as an excellent counterpuncher, being able to exploit openings in his opponent's guards while avoiding punches with head and body movement. He is also known as a formidable body puncher and for having one of the all-time great chins. Everybody, that chin is legendary. One of boxing's biggest ever pay-per-view stars, Canelo is consistently one of the highest paid athletes in the world, not boxing, athletes, period, yeah. He made the Forbes list of the world's highest paid athletes in 2019, 2022, and last year, 2023. Yep, Canelo was always up there when you talk about highest paid, not just boxers, athletes. Now let's get started with the matchups, okay? The first one is Canelo Alvarez versus, not Canelo Alvarez, versus Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez versus Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay? Canelo Alvarez versus Sugar Ray Robinson. And make sure y'all let me know what y'all think, because this is just what I think. This is not necessarily what would happen. It's just the way I see it. I need to know how y'all see it too. Jarrell Hattie. Salute Jarrell in the building. Canelo Alvarez versus the legends today, Jarrell. Okay, first one is Canelo Alvarez versus Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, let's look at it. See what I think about it. Got my eye over what y'all think. Now, this fight would likely be a shutout, whether 12 or 15 rounds. Okay. Now, it's definitely going the distance because, like I was saying earlier, no fighter is stopping Canelo. Nobody, right? And there's just no way I see Canelo beating Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, Canelo got dominated by a 36-year-old Floyd Mayweather, had a disputed draw with a 36-year-old Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, and he won a very controversial decision over Erislandy Lara, a slick, technical boxer, also known for his defense and movement. Okay, Canelo had major problems against Lara's style, and so facing Sugar Ray Robinson would be a tough matchup for Canelo. Okay, Sugar Ray won the welterweight title once, the middleweight title 6 times, and he would have won the light heavyweight title if he hadn't had a heat stroke against champion Joey Maxim, okay? The only person who beat Sugar Ray in his prime was Jake LaMotta. Most of his other losses came after he was 40 years old during his 25-year career, 1940 to 1965. Now, every single time Canelo has faced someone world-class, like a Mayweather, Triple G, Dimitri Bivol, he struggled or lost. Okay, so ain't too much to say about this one. Sugar Ray would be too slick, too fast, too strong, and too much for Canelo. Sugar Ray by a wide unanimous decision. Okay, Sugar Ray by a wide unanimous decision over Canelo. Yeah, short and sweet. Yeah, Jerome says he got Sugar. Okay, so since we're on Sugar, let's go to the other one, Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, get the two Sugars out of the way. Yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard. Canelo Alvarez versus Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, fantasy matchups Monday. Y'all supposed to be playing the drop. Big J gave you right. Big Dre gave me right there. I'm happy next Monday though. Okay, this was at 154. Now Canelo and Sugar Ray Robinson was at 160. Okay, Canelo Alvarez versus Sugar Ray Leonard is at 154. Okay, junior middleweight. Well, look at it today. It always give me some good feedback. Now this is a hard matchup to make, prime versus prime, because Canelo's prime is 160 to 168, while Leonard's prime was 147. Now Canelo is naturally way bigger than Leonard when you're talking about both fighters in their prime. Now Leonard did move up to super middleweight and have success, but that was later in his career, definitely after his prime. But today's matchup will be at 154. Okay, 154. Now, prime Canelo would be a little weight drain at 154, and that would be to Leonard's advantage. So who would win this matchup? Now, Leonard was an exceptional athlete with remarkable speed, footwork, and hand speed. He was also known for his resilience and ability to adjust tactics mid-fight. Leonard's speed and footwork would give him the edge over Canelo. Leonard would use his boxing skills and speed to land quick combinations and then evade Canelo's power shots. Now, Canelo would have to make his power a significant factor in this fight by landing clean shots on Leonard. And Leonard would have to be cautious of Canelo's counterpunching ability. But Leonard would use his speed to evade Canelo's power shots. And Canelo would get frustrated when he can't cut the ring off and land those power shots. Now, this matchup would be very similar to a fight that actually happened. Mayweather versus Canelo, right? Hopefully, all three judges would get this one right, which they didn't in the Mayweather fight. Remember, one judge had a draw. Anyway, Sugar Ray Leonard by a wide unanimous decision over Canelo. This matchup is just all wrong. Be very similar to Floyd and Canelo, I think. Y'all agree on that? Sugar Ray and Canelo would be similar to Floyd and Canelo. Definitely Jarrell. Jarrell says Sugar IQ is too high for Canelo. Talking about Leonard this time? Yeah. But I had both Sugars over Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson over Canelo by comfortable unanimous decisions. Okay? Yeah. Short and sweet. Okay, next is a good one. Canelo Alvarez versus the legend. Canelo Alvarez versus. Here he is, the Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta. Two of the toughest fighters of all time. Canelo Alvarez versus Jake LaMotta. Okay? This would be at 160. Okay? Because Jake never went above 160, and they didn't have 168 back then anyway, in the 50s. Because he probably would have went to 168 if they would have had it. Yeah. Okay. So this Canelo versus Jake LaMotta is at 160. Okay. Now, you can bet the farm on this fight going the distance. Okay. That is a safe bet. These are two of the best chins in boxing history, arguably 1 and 2. Now, who's 1, who's 2, I have no idea, but these are two of them, arguably the 1 and 2 best chins in boxing history. So put the farm on this fight going the distance, 12 or 15. Nobody's getting knocked out in this fight. LaMotta is credited with being one of the first fighters to adopt the bully style of boxing. Using this style, he always stayed close to his opponent by aggressively stalking them around the ring and sacrificing, taking punches to land his own, right? He rolled with punches, minimizing their force and damage when they did land, but he was also able to absorb many blows. Along with his legendary chin, he was also known as one of the toughest fighters in boxing history. So how will LaMotta fare against Canelo? Another tough fighter with a great chin. You know, almost kind of like looking in the mirror a little bit, these two. A little. Okay. Jake technique would beat Jake at 168, yeah. I put it at 160 because, you know, they didn't have a 168 back then. There's Al Booger. I talked you up. I got ESPN. I talked you up, Al Booger. I don't have ESP. I got ESPN. Salute, Al Booger. Glad you in here. You missed the Sugar Rays. You missed Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard, but you know what happened. Both of them beat Canelo by wide unanimous decision. They just had everything that gives Canelo problems. Both Sugar Rays did. Canelo wouldn't stand a chance. Okay. How would LaMotta fare against Canelo? This would be a very fan-friendly fight with two aggressive fighters with no backup in either one of them. In researching for this fight, I noticed quite a few people think Jake LaMotta was just a brawler and Canelo was outboxing to the decision win. But keep in mind, Jake LaMotta beat the great Sugar Ray Robinson on points. So the man was much more than a brawler. He beat Sugar Ray Robinson by points. And Sugar Ray was in his prime, okay? Jake LaMotta was the only one to beat Sugar Ray Robinson in his prime, so much more than just a brawler. That win right there will tell you that LaMotta was much more than just a brawler. Mm-hmm. Now, because of natural evolution, today's fighters are bigger, stronger, and faster than their predecessors from back in the day. And that's in Canelo's favor, okay? But this fight would be fought in the pocket for most of it, with plenty of momentum swings back and forth. Like I said, super fan-friendly action. Now, there would be no knockdowns, okay? Canelo has never been on the mat in his career. Jake LaMotta was down on the mat one time, and he testified under oath before Congress that was a dive, okay? So the one time Jake went down, he took a dive, okay? Yeah, he was mixed up with the mafia during his career, and yeah, he took a dive in one fight. It was an obvious dive too, yeah. I think it was against Billy. I can't think of his last name. Now, Jake LaMotta was tough as nails, and with his great endurance and the fact he outpointed Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson, he outworks and outmauls Canelo to win a razor-thin split decision. Okay, I got Jake. Very close fight. But to go either way, very close fight between Jake LaMotta and Canelo. Oh, Jarrell says Jake might be the only one to stop Canelo. I had a question before you came in, Jarrell. Do you think Arthur Beterbiev would stop Canelo? You think with that 100% knockout rate, would he stop Canelo? Or would that 100% knockout rate be gone in that fight? I got it being 90-something, because he ain't stopping Canelo. Nobody stops Canelo. Okay, it just ain't happening. No. Okay. That was Jake LaMotta. Nobody stops Canelo. Look at that chin. It looked like a cinder block. Look at it. If you hit him without boxing gloves, you would definitely break your hand. Probably break a baseball bat on it. Hit him with a baseball bat, it'd probably break in half. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I got Jake LaMotta by razor thin split decision over Canelo. Here's another good one. Okay. Still in the 50s. We're going to work our way up to now, though. Jake LaMotta versus Carlos Monzon. Now, like, again, 160, because they didn't have 168. These guys never fought at 168. Some of them went to 175, like Sugar Ray, but, yeah. I would have 160 with no 168. I would put it at 160. So, Canelo Alvarez versus Carlos Monzon at 160, middleweight. You know, Carlos Monzon was a bad man. Yeah. Which one you talking about, Trump? Sugar Ray or Sugar Robinson or Leonard? Trump said Sugar was not unbeatable. He came forward, lunged sometimes with his hands down. Okay, thank you, Trump. Canelo Alvarez versus Carlos Monzon, 160. Yeah, I want to hear y'all input. This is just what I think. This don't make it right how it would go. We're gonna drop the link about 3:30 too. Anybody want to come up and chop it up about any of these matchups? Now, Carlos Monzon was the undisputed middleweight champion for 7 consecutive years, from 1970 to 1977. And like I think I told y'all last week, him and Marvin Hagler, from 1970 to 1987, those 17 years, Marvin Hagler or Carlos Monzon was the undisputed middleweight champion for all of those years except for 3 of them. One of those 2. They dominated middleweight from 1970 to 1987. Each of them had it for 7 years apiece. Yep. Carlos had it from 1970 to 1977. Now, Monzon's boxing style was a combination of power, speed, and ring generalship. He was known as a boxer puncher with a relentless work rate. Against Canelo, I had Monzon winning a clear-cut unanimous decision, especially in a 15-round fight, since Canelo has never been 15. Although, I believe Canelo, if he had to go 15, he could do it, no problem. But over 15 rounds, I think Monzon would wear Canelo down and get a unanimous decision. Canelo has decent speed and good countering ability. But with his low output, I don't think he gives Carlos Monzon much trouble, especially with Monzon's ability to keep a good work rate for the entire 15 rounds. Monzon is a tough counter for Canelo's style. And as the rounds go by, Monzon would steadily pull away on the cards. I'm not saying it would be a shutout or a dominant one-sided fight, but with his 3.5 inch height advantage, 5.5 inch reach advantage, a killer 1-2 with a jab that was very tough for opponents to work against, and that incredible work rate that I mentioned, Monzon would have the tools to take control of the fight in the middle rounds and roll down the stretch to a comfortable unanimous decision. Yeah, Monzon would have Canelo 3.5 inches in height, 5.5 in reach. Okay. And he utilized them very well against smaller fighters. I told you, man was undisputed champion for 7 straight years. Monzon by decision over Canelo. Told you, hardcore Canelo fans, I don't know. I'm just calling it like I see it. But, let me know what you think. Okay. I think we got one. Monzon would definitely test Saul's chin. Okay, Trump. Okay. Now, I think after this, we're going to come forward a little ways. Oh, Monzon was in the 70s too, but we go back to the 50s. Dick Tiger. this thing will move. It's getting ready to go out on me. Something right. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Canelo Alvarez versus Dick Tiger. That's Dick Tiger on the left. Okay. I don't know. Is that Carmen Basilio on the right? I'm not sure. Joe would know. Joe ain't in here. Yeah. Okay. Canelo Alvarez versus Dick Tiger. Another one of those great. I told you the 50s is the greatest decade of all for middleweight, 160, man. That's when Sugar Ray came there, Jake LaMotta, Dick Tiger on the screen. I think that's Carmen Basilio, Randy Turpin, Gene Fulmer, Marcel Cerdan. The 50s was just the greatest era ever for greatest decade ever for 160. Yeah. But Sugar Ray had them L's in them 50s. Mm-hmm. Now Dick Tiger, this fight would be at 160 against Canelo. Tiger and Canelo, 160. Okay. Now Tiger would move forward to draw his opponent into exchanges and then counter with his own powerful punches. Also, Tiger had a devastating left hook, and it was a key part of his style. And his punches travel in short arcs and straight lines. At the beginning of a punch, Tiger's arms would be tight against his sides. Canelo and Tiger have physical similarities. Both are 5'8" tall, with a nearly identical reach. 70.5 inches for Canelo, 71 for Tiger. So yeah, only difference is a half inch in reach, exact same height. Both have iron chins, and both have fierce mental determination. And both share the same weakness. They could be outboxed. Okay, very similar, very similar. Tiger's style could play into Canelo's strength, though. Canelo would have the upper movement and the timing to counterpunch Tiger, which would give him trouble as he came forward like he liked to do. But Canelo's flat-footed tendencies could offset that advantage because he could become vulnerable as Tiger just keeps coming forward, because Tiger just going to keep coming at you. I don't care how many times you hit him, okay? So that advantage Canelo would have countering him could be offset by his flat-footed tendencies that he had, okay? But Tiger had the much better resume fighting during what I call the best era ever for middleweight. Now, this is a tough one to call between these two similar fighters. So I'll decide it by era, okay? Now, in the current era of day before weigh-ins, where Canelo could rehydrate to like 170, 175 pounds overnight, I'll give him the edge. Then Tiger's era of same day of fight weigh-ins, where they fought closer to the actual contract weight, Tiger would get the edge. In either era, it's a highly competitive, fan-friendly, close split decision decided in the championship round. So if it's back in the 50s, Tiger wins. If it's in the current era, Canelo wins. I do that. That's the hard one to call, because they were very similar, man. Same height, same reach, both good counter punches, both had trouble against slick boxers, both had iron chins. So in the 50s, Tiger wins. In the current era, Canelo wins. That's how I do that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, Joe, what's up, Joe? Oh, that was Nino Benvenuti. I told you Joe would know. Yeah, that was Nino. Another one from the 50s. I didn't even, when I was talking about those great middleweights from the 50s, I didn't even mention Nino. Yeah, that's Nino Benvenuti. Thank you, Joe. I told y'all he would know. He came in right on time, too. Let me put him down. Salute, Joe. Yeah, Joe, you missed a lot of good matchups, man. I'm almost done with the 50s now. We're getting ready to come forward a little ways. We did do Carlos Monzon, but yeah, Dick Tiger wins against Canelo in his era. Canelo wins in his era. That's the easy way out, but I couldn't decide that one, man. They were very similar. They will tell you, yeah. Next, I did this matchup when I did Hagler a couple weeks ago, but I'm gonna do it again. Marvin Hagler, Canelo versus Marvin Hagler. 160. Hagler never fought anywhere else. Okay. Never went up, never went down. Hagler fought at 160. Every one of his 62 fights. He had 62 total fights professionally. Every one of them was at 160 pounds middleweight. So that's where his fight against Canelo is today. 160. Okay. Man, I can't believe it's 3 o'clock. Okay. Now, Marvin Hagler, 160. Canelo Alvarez versus Marvin Hagler. Canelo is a natural counterpuncher with great defense. He shines when his opponent aggressively applies pressure. That could be successful if Hagler chose to fight him that way, in that style, right? But Hagler could be really technical and could fight any style. He could be 100% devoted to that pressure style he used against Thomas Hearns and John the Beast Mugabe, where he showed an extremely high ability to counter and do it effectively. His footwork and speed and head movement were all great. These are all things Canelo would have trouble with. Canelo probably would need to be lighter against Hagler than he's been in recent years, okay? Now, compared to Canelo, Hagler has better stamina, superior reach, and is stronger, with their chins being about the same. I'm giving Canelo a little edge in chins, though, okay? Hagler has an 83% knockout rate, while Canelo's is 62%. Against Bivol, Canelo's jab wasn't effective, and he didn't use enough head movement. Those two things are central to win against Hagler. Again, Canelo would put up a good effort, and it would be an interesting fight. We know both fighters have serious chins, although Hagler has shown he's a good pressure fighter. Playing catch and shoot in the pocket would not be his ideal game plan against Canelo. If Hagler stays at range, uses his footwork and other technical boxing skills, he would win. An entertaining and competitive unanimous decision. Damn, has Canelo won one yet? Yeah, Hagler by unanimous decision. Yep. Yeah, Hagler won. Hagler by unanimous decision. Next, the Hitman, Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Here he is. Now this one is at 168. Okay, Canelo Alvarez versus Thomas Hearns. 160 or 168. Okay, let me put it that way. 160 or 168. Either one would be basically the same fight, I think. You know, wouldn't be a big difference between the two. 160 or 168. I don't think so. Now, this fight would not go very well for Canelo. Looking at how he did against Dimitri Bivol. Bivol kept that jab in his face all night long, and it paid huge dividends. Now, considering how well Hearns used his jab, that doesn't equal up to much success for Canelo in this matchup. Now, there are many people who say Canelo is a great boxer, and I'm not disputing that. But Canelo does have a lot of problems against skilled boxers, especially with those who have good to great knockout power. For example, as far as just skilled boxers, without the great knockout power, watch his fight against Floyd, or even his fight against Amir Khan, whose speed Canelo eventually figured out. Now combine the skills of Floyd, the speed of Amir Khan, and the knockout power of a middle or super middleweight. The result is Thomas Hearns, right? Now Canelo is a counterpuncher, so it would be tough. But Hearns' speed, power, and skills will eventually wear Canelo down. Hearns will not stop Canelo. Like I said, nobody will. But Hearns will win the fight on points. Canelo, despite being a great counterpuncher with power, simply does not have the tools or the skills to outpoint the much more superior skilled boxer Thomas Hearns. Hearns outboxed Sugar Ray Leonard, right? A far superior boxer compared to Canelo. The only chance Canelo would have in this matchup would be landing a powerful knockout punch on Hearns, because Hearns sometimes did get caught by shots and got stopped, remember? But there would only be about a 10% chance for Canelo, right? About a 10% chance of Canelo landing that shot. Hearns by unanimous decision in this one. Okay? Moving forward a little. Joe Calzaghe is next. Oh my goodness, what happened to the slide? Oh man, I messed it up. Now I gotta find everybody. It does that sometimes. That little fist comes up there and the whole slide display just gets messed up. It's out of order. But I know what everybody looked like. Next was Joe Calzaghe. There's Joe Calzaghe right there. I don't know how that always happens. Ain't that Joe Calzaghe? Yeah. Ain't that Joe Calzaghe, Joe? Yeah, that's good. Canelo Alvarez versus Joe Calzaghe. Everybody hitting the like, the appreciation button. 305. Yeah, we good time. Let's take a break real quick then. Okay? And because the raffle is next weekend. Not this weekend. Next weekend. So get your tickets. Turn it on, yes.
It's time for another raffle brought to you by the JBT. Our first item is a new 10th generation iPad with a liquid retina display which shows off beautiful color and has plenty of power for all your handheld computing needs. Great for work, play, or just movies on the go. How much is it to enter, you ask? Just $10. Or you can catch the deal with 3 entries for just $25. It's easy to enter. Just cash app your entries to $JBT Network 1. That's $JBT Network 1. Our second item is a set of Canelo Bear Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. Great for gaming, movies, or travel. As the second prize in this great raffle. Our third item is a Ninja brand air fryer. Great for all your air frying needs. Cooking healthy with the JBT. So send your entries via Cash App to JBT Network 1. That's JBT Network 1. $10 each or 3 for $25. Put raffle on the comment line and you are entered.
3 great prizes. October 12th, the day of the Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol showdown next weekend. Yep. One person can win all 3 prizes too. So I would get the block of 25. 3 for 25. One chance will get you 10. Even if you win 1, you're still way ahead of the game. Everybody hitting the like button? Like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, please. Support the grind. Cash App $, capital CAS 2878. They took my monetization. Is it back? Let me see. Nope, it ain't back yet. I think it's November. They didn't even tell me why they took it. Okay. Let's continue. Joe Kawasaki. Isn't that where we was at? Yeah. Canelo Alvarez versus Joe Kawasaki on Fantasy Matchups Monday. Next week it's the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. I got Kawasaki all the way in this one. He's naturally bigger and just as skilled as Canelo. Kawasaki never really had outstanding power in either hand. But man, could he throw punches. He could throw punches in bunches. And he was fast too. Topped it off with a granite chin and a high enough boxing IQ to know when to up his game in a fight. And I think he beats Canelo on points. Close enough for it to be interesting though. Now Kawasaki's biggest weakness had nothing to do with his actual boxing, but rather his image. He was too content to fight outside the spotlight. Okay? Kawasaki was booked to fight. He won, rinse and repeat. No fur coats, no shades, and no whole bunch of talking nonsense, right? He wasn't really noticed outside of the UK, at least not until the last few years of his career. Now, Kawasaki was a much greater boxer than he would likely ever be given credit for. Now, I think to beat Kawasaki around 168 in his prime, he would have had to go up against someone like a prime Roy Jones Jr., who would take that level of talent and greatness to have beaten Kawasaki at his best. And even prime Roy Jones Jr. would have had to work hard to do it, okay? Canelo, despite being one of the best in the game right now, just isn't quite on that level, okay? Kawasaki, besides being naturally bigger than Canelo, also could hit harder. He could outwork Canelo, outthink him, had better overall boxing skills, and was never overawed by any other fighter or any occasion, no matter how big it was, right? Now, Kawasaki finished his professional career undefeated with 46 wins, 32 of them coming by way of knockout. Okay? Kawasaki by decision over Canelo. Okay? Canelo got any wins yet? Yeah, Technique said he got choked too. Thomas Hill said Hearns by destruction. Technique has Joe. What you think? Alberga, you still in here? What you think about these fights? Okay. But the next one, let's move on. Okay. Pulling up on 3:15. Who's next? Man. Okay. Oh, Lights Out. Canelo versus Lights Out James Toney. Or James Lights Out Toney. All right. 168. Did I say Kawasaki was at 168 too? Toney is at 168. I think all the rest of them is at 168. Yeah, 168. Canelo Alvarez versus James Lights Out Toney on Fantasy Matchups Monday. CASSPORTS The Box Story. Now, a fit James Toney was very special. He could have been one of the all-time greats, but his lack of discipline was his shortcoming. Toney's fighting style was known for being old school. He frequently moved his head and shoulders forward. Moved his head and shoulders to avoid punches. He was very adept at the shoulder roll defense, also being good at fighting off the ropes using upper body movement. He was also known for his infighting skills with a durable chin, right? rarely being knocked down during his 29-year professional career. 29 years, right? In this matchup with Canelo, I have prime in top condition Tony winning by decision. Okay? There's only a small chance of there being a stoppage either way in this fight. But Tony's defensive prowess and skill set would be too much for any version of Canelo. Tony is levels above most of Canelo's opponents. Fighters like B.J. Saunders and Callum Smith would get destroyed by lights out, you know? And Canelo would get frustrated by Tony's slickness, okay? Tony has a better resume than Canelo. They're not even close, okay? Not even comparable. But Canelo would get frustrated by Tony's slickness too, okay? For me, two of Tony's best wins at 168 was against Prince Charles Williams and Iran Barkley. Barkley was coming off of 2 wins over Thomas Hearn, okay, when he got in there with lights out. But Canelo and Tony would be a good competitive fight. And Canelo does have the skills and potential to outwork or even outbox Tony. But if lights out comes into the fight in shape with his head right, I think he's bigger, smarter, faster, and stronger than Canelo. James Toney wins this matchup by 116-112, 8 rounds to 4 type of decision. But he will have to work hard for it. Lights out. Really depends on what kind of shape he comes in, and you know, lights out. Trump says, I feel like Tony would get robbed on a scorecard. Yes, you always have to take that into consideration when it's like Canelo, especially in Vegas. You know, look at Bivol, man. Bivol watched the man, and they had it 115, 113. Canelo had won one more round, it would have been a draw. Can you believe that? Alon's so amazing in the building. What's up, Alon? So amazing. Salute. Alon's so amazing. I like that name. Alon's so amazing. Canelo versus the Legends today. That's a nice name. Alon's so amazing. Salute. Canelo versus the Legends today. Okay. All right. So lights out gets him by decision. But like Trump said, no technique. Trump, yeah. I feel like Tony would get robbed on the scorecards. Yeah. Especially in Vegas against Canelo, you always got to take that into consideration, man. Like I said, just look at Bivol. What happened there? That was definitely not no 115 to 113 fight. Okay, next is B-Hop. Canelo Alvarez versus Bernard Hopkins, 168. Okay? 168. This fight is at 168. Okay? Now, B-Hop usually had trouble with athletic movers in the ring. Canelo is not an athletic mover. Okay? Also, there's nothing Canelo could bring to the table that B-Hop hasn't seen. For example, Canelo's left hook. If Roy Jones Jr. in his prime could knock B-Hop out with his left hook, there's very small chance of Canelo having success with his left hook. Now, what I'm trying to say is, this is a horrible style matchup for Canelo. He's always struggled with movement, and B-Hop made a career in using movement to disarm punchers like Canelo. Even if Canelo could continuously corner B-Hop, Hopkins was adept at tying up opponents and smothering them. Plus, Hopkins would manhandle Canelo on the inside. and outwork him, right? B-Hop is all wrong for Canelo and on all levels. The only hope Canelo would have is to try to catch B-Hop with counters, but even that has limited effectiveness against a fighter like B-Hop, who knows how to box at the elite level, okay? And Canelo would also get hit a lot in this fight against prime Bernard Hopkins. Past his prime, 38-year-old Hopkins broke the CompuBox record for most power punches landed in a middleweight fight against William Joppy, landing 375 power punches from a total of 419 punches. For 89%, that's unheard of. 89% of power punches landed in a fight. That is crazy. Okay, 89%. They say 50% is good on power punches. He almost had 100%. 11% less than 100%. 89%. And he threw a total of 819 punches overall. Right? That was 38-year-old Hopkins. So you can imagine what type of output the prime B-Hop had. Bernard Hopkins wins by unanimous decision. Okay? Next, if we did Tony and B-Hop, you know who's next. Roy Jones Jr. Yep, Roy Jones Jr. is next. Trump says, I read that. Yeah, Tony would get raw. You always got to consider that when you're going up against Canelo, them judges, especially in Vegas. Roy Jones Jr. is at 168 too. 168. I told you the majority of the rest of them is at 168. I got like 3 or 4 from this era coming up too. The current era. Is that 320? Okay. Roy Jones Jr. 160. Canelo Alvarez versus Roy Jones Jr. at 168. Now, Jones in his prime was known for his incredible speed, reflexes, and unorthodox style. He had the ability to make opponents miss and then counter effectively, often using his athleticism to dominate fights. At super middleweight, he was exceptionally quick and had a unique ability to mix power with finesse. Canelo definitely would not fare well against Roy Jones Jr. You could call Roy Canelo's kryptonite. Jones is the exact type of fighter that gives Canelo major problems, along with having every tool in his toolbox that causes Canelo to struggle mightily. Speed, movement, athleticism, slick boxing, ring IQ, ring generalship. Jones would also benefit from a 3.5-inch height and reach advantage. One thing we can all agree on, you can bet the farm on this too. You can bet the farm on this. If Canelo Alvarez and Roy Jones Jr. fought in the same era, Canelo Alvarez would not go anywhere near a boxing ring with Roy Jones in it. He would never fight it. Okay? Bet the farm on that. The way Canelo ducks and moves around, fight who he want to fight, he would not fight Roy Jones. No way. This is really just a fantasy match. It would have never happened. Okay? Bet the farm on it. But in this matchup, all Canelo would have is a puncher's chance. And that would only be about a 5% chance. Roy Jones Jr. by wide, dominant, unanimous decision over Canelo. Yeah, but y'all know if they were in the same era, no way Canelo gets in the ring with Roy Jones. Just no way. Now, we got this one. Okay? 168. We're getting Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, 168. Here we go. Okay? Everybody hit the like button. Okay. Oh, David Benavidez. Okay. Now, some say that a fight between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez would be sensational. Okay. But as of September 2024, Marco.com reports that Alvarez is likely to bypass Benavidez and Terence Crawford for other opponents. And we're getting Terence Crawford too, okay, today. Now, Eddie Hearn, who has worked closely with Canelo, believes that money is the key to getting Canelo in the ring with Benavidez. Hearn says that Canelo is not afraid of anyone, but he just wants to get paid. So if these two fighters get in the ring, what happens? Right? What happens? Now, I said this in the beginning. I do not understand why so many people think Benavidez would walk through Canelo. I don't understand that. I believe Canelo has the skills to pick Benavidez apart. Benavidez has fast hands when he's throwing 4 and 5 punch combinations. Canelo is a good counterpuncher. And he's also good defensively, right? That high guard. Canelo also has the slightly faster hands, I believe. I give Benavidez the power advantage. But Canelo has that all-time great chin. Okay? Benavidez is not stopping Canelo. Anybody can just get off of that. That is not happening. Canelo's been hit with some monstrous shots by Triple G. But we know about Canelo's chin, but we don't know how good Benavidez's chin is, and he has been dropped before. Ronald Gabriel put Benavidez on the mat in their title fight in 2017, remember? In the 12th round. So we know what kind of chin Canelo got, but we're not sure about Benavidez's. Benavidez also is a front runner. The fights he's went the distance in, he's looked spent at the end of 12 rounds, okay? And these are fights he's been in control of. Imagine a tough back and forth fight with a fighter on Canelo's level, okay? Canelo may not have the best gas tank, but he's shown he can go 12 hard rounds. And Benavidez is a tall fighter, but he doesn't use his height very well. He likes to fight close up. Canelo won't have any trouble finding him. And if Canelo puts Benavidez on the back foot, Benavidez does not fight well at all going back. I think a lot of people have written Canelo off because of his performance against Dimitri Bivol. But Benavidez is no Dimitri Bivol, okay? He just isn't. But Canelo is still one of the top fighters in boxing today in this watered down era, okay? I think he will chip away at Benavidez's body. The fight will be competitive until the late rounds. Then Canelo will take over the fight and stop Benavidez late or control the championship rounds and win by decision, okay? I only got a win for Canelo. I got him stopping Benavidez late in the championship rounds or a decision. Okay, I got Canelo over Benavidez. I'm sorry. I don't know what these people thinking about. They just think he's scared and David Benavidez just gonna walk through Canelo. They better leave that Kool-Aid alone. You got a draw between them, Jarrell? Okay. Yeah, I would think Canelo 168. Yeah, Canelo ain't gonna go up to 175 and fight Benavidez. 168, I would say. Okay. Now here's this one. This one here. Beterbiev. Okay. Now the question, now I would think Beterbiev would win this fight, but the question in this one is, will he stop Canelo? Okay, will he stop Canelo? Canelo Alvarez versus Artur Beterbiev at 175. Okay. Beterbiev ain't coming to no 168. So this would have to be at 175. At least I don't think so. 175. Old as he is, now can he make 168? So 175. This is a very intriguing matchup. I think Beterbiev will definitely beat Canelo, but with that 100% knockout rate, would he stop him? Canelo is the hardest fighter in boxing to stop. With his iron chin, ability to roll with punches, elite head movement, and the tight guard he uses. Beterbiev, on the other hand, is pound for pound the hardest puncher among active boxers today. I fully expect Beterbiev to dominate Canelo, but the million-dollar question is, how will he win? Decision or stoppage? Now, I don't see Canelo shelling up or getting on his bike for 12 rounds. So it would be very interesting to see if Canelo could take Beterbiev's power for 12 rounds. If Beterbiev doesn't stop Canelo, he would still control the fight. He is not just bigger than Canelo, he's a better technician and more skilled. He's just not flashy enough for people to recognize how good he can box, right? The only advantage Canelo would have is if he could find the right counters, okay? Because Beterbiev has been sent to the canvas a couple times during his career. Yeah, he's been down a couple times now, yeah. But to sum it up, Beterbiev's size advantage will likely negate a lot of Canelo's power. And we have seen what he has done to guys significantly bigger than Canelo, right? The biggest factor Canelo would have against Beterbiev is his age. Beterbiev is 39 now, but the undefeated Father Time has not showed up yet. So as far as the result in this matchup, no fighter has stopped or ever knocked Canelo down or even hurt him in a fight. And I don't think Beterbiev does it either. Artur Beterbiev wins by unanimous decision. Yep, I got Beterbiev in that one. Okay, we got couple more. A good time. We got this one. Let me see if anybody come in. Jarrell says, I got Canelo. That pressure will backfire against Canelo. Who you got in that one? You got Canelo Beterbiev, Jarrell? Or Benavidez? Okay. Okay, the next one. Next to the last one. Two interesting ones to finish it off. Okay, this is the first one. Canelo Alvarez. Oh, man. That's David Morrell. That's me. Canelo Alvarez versus David Morrell. Okay? Canelo Alvarez. And T. Hill was saying the other day that this fight actually going to happen around March of 2025. Yes, that's a good one. And I thought about this one, man. I had a different result last week. I changed my mind on this. I changed my mind. Now let's talk about it. Once at 168. Okay, at 160. And Canelo and Beterbiev was at 175. Canelo, David Morrell, 168. Okay. Now, Morrell is known for being quick-fisted and offensive, and for his hand speed and reflexes. He's also known for his ability to maintain control of a fight, dictate the pace, and stay aggressive. Morrell is a strong, young, Cuban-style boxer that is strong at defense and also has a powerful offense. Currently, he has 11 fights, winning all 11 with 9 knockouts. And this is why I was picking Canelo last week, but this is mainly why I changed my mind. In this matchup with Canelo, get this. Morrell would have a 5.5-inch height advantage and a 6.5-inch reach advantage. And is 8 years younger. Wow. I see why Canelo is ducking. That's a lot to overcome. And with the skills he had, you know, slick boxing skills, the power, the ability to control the fight, you know, come out of the Cuban boxing school. I don't care how many fights Canelo got, man. That is just a lot to overcome. Then a 5.5-inch height and a 6.5-inch reach advantage. Yeah, I was picking Canelo last week, but I done changed, man. I had switched up. Now, Canelo does have 55 more fights at the professional level than Morrell, but the young Cuban star has all the skills that cause Canelo to struggle, right? All the skills that Canelo struggles against. Canelo may have a lot more fights and years of experience in the ring, but I don't see any way for him to win this fight. It's a tricky style matchup, man. Morrell will put up a pretty good defense. He throws incredible combinations, has great fighting instinct, and can crack, okay? He comes out of that Cuban boxing system, so he has an outstanding amateur background. I give Morrell an excellent chance of winning this matchup on point due to style, right? Combination punchers are often beat by good counterpunchers. And no other boxer at 168 is on Canelo's level when it comes to counterpunching. So that's a plus for Canelo. But I'm picking Morrell to win in a decision due to his overall boxing skills, 6.5-inch reach, and 5.5-inch height advantage, man. And southpaw stance. Remember, Erislandy Lara, another highly skilled Cuban southpaw, gave Canelo headaches, arguably beat him, remember? David Morrell by unanimous decision. But like Trump was saying, you got to watch them judges, man, especially on this, a young man like Morrell in Vegas. Yeah, Morrell got to make it a wide decision. But I'm picking Morrell in this. I saw that 6.5-inch reach, man. That's a lot with the skills he had. He already got all the skills that get Canelo problems. And then 6.5 inches in reach. I don't see what Canelo can do to beat this kid, man. I just don't see it. Anybody? I don't see it. Morrell beats him on points. He's not stopping Canelo. Nobody's doing that, but I think Morrell can outpoint him, man. And finally, very interesting though. I would love to see that one. Just to see what Canelo would do with him. That kid has, and then I just can't get past that 6.5-inch reach, man. That's a lot with the skills he has. You know, everything that makes Canelo struggle, plus the 6.5-inch reach. I can't get past that. That's a lot, man. That is a lot for Canelo to overcome. Finally, I didn't do Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford is next. I didn't make a picture of Bud Crawford. How did I forget Bud? Okay. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Okay. Now, Crawford is known for his versatility, technical prowess, and ability to seamlessly switch between stances. Now, he is a natural southpaw where he holds his body weight central. His shoulders. He holds his shoulders. Wait a minute. But as a natural southpaw, he holds his body weight central. His shoulders are side on, and his head is in line with his rear foot. Okay. Man, it's getting late. It was getting late at night when I was writing that. I had trouble reading that. Wow. A fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford could be a difficult prediction, but some say Canelo would win because of his size and punching power. And I'm in that camp, okay? Crawford is obviously the superior boxer, as in boxing technique. Now, Canelo has been outboxed a few times in his career, but his head movement, power, and strength often bails him out. You know, when he gets outboxed, their head movement, power, and strength often bails Canelo out. And the judges often bail him out too. Now, that's not to say that Canelo isn't a good boxer. He is. But Bud is better, you know, plain and simple. Now, in terms of size, Canelo is bigger. And he had a lot harder time making 154 than Bud did, right? Bud only made it one time. Canelo even had trouble making 160. 168 is more natural for him at this point in his career, right? In terms of power, Canelo hits harder. He has that one-hitter quitter power. I don't think Bud will have that at 168. He just prefers to box conservatively. You know, Canelo, if Canelo tried to become a headhunter, he would probably have a much higher knockout rate. Canelo is satisfied to just box, be conservative box. He could have a higher knockout rate, but you know, he doesn't really go for knockout. He tries to break you down, you know. And if he gets the knockout, he gets it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Because Canelo knows one thing for sure. If he gets to them judges and it's close, he getting it. You know, Canelo knows that. You get to those judges and it's close, he getting the decision. You think he don't know that? Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of chin and overall toughness, Canelo is better. Check that box for Canelo. Canelo, like we've been saying the whole show, Canelo has one of the best chins in boxing. Okay. Canelo has never been knocked down. He hasn't even been rocked or hurt in a fight. 66 fights. Okay. He absorbed Triple G's hardest shot without an issue. That shot would have knocked Bud out. I'm sorry, that shot would have put Bud on his ass. Okay. It just would have, man. And Canelo has better head movement as well. So who wins, right? Now, if Crawford could get Canelo to come down one weight class to 160, I would pick an outbox Canelo and win a decision at 160. But 168 is a bridge too far for Bud, man. Now, he might give Canelo some problems early in the fight, but as the fight goes on, Canelo will be too big, too strong, too powerful, and too much for Bud. Now, Canelo hasn't stopped anyone in his last 7 fights since 2021 when he beat Caleb Plant by TKO, and that was in the 11th round. So I would have him beating Bud by a dominant unanimous decision. With Bud hitting the canvas at least once in this fight, okay? I would have Bud making it to the Carters against Canelo, but he hitting the canvas at least once. Similar to what's his buddy? I mean, not his buddy. To who am I thinking of? Mel, the brother Mel. Similar to that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar to that. So yeah, there you go. What was Canelo like 2 and 13? No, I think he had a draw in there too. 2 and 11. No, 2 was 15. 2 and 12 and 1. 2, 12 and 1. Right. But there you have it. Canelo Alvarez versus the legend. Next week it's Roberto Duran, the Hands of Stone versus the Legends next week. Okay. Appreciate everybody rocking with me. Tomorrow is going to be on trainers. Some training methods, techniques trainers use, you know. And we're going to look at like 10 old school former trainers, little profile, look at their careers. And we're going to look at 10 current trainers. That's tomorrow. I didn't do the week. Yeah. Tomorrow is on training methods and stuff that the techniques trainers use. We're going to look at 10 former trainers and 10 current trainers. Wednesday is brought to you by William Old School of Rant. It's going to be boxing during the Great Depression. Wednesday, okay? Thursday, boxing in the States continues with Louisiana. It's going to be history of boxing in Louisiana, some other significant things that occurred concerning boxing in Louisiana, and look at some boxers that came from Louisiana, okay? And excuse me for a second. I don't even know who the profile is. I got it written down. Excuse me for 1 second, please. Sorry. I'll be right back. Oh boy. Friday is who was it last week? Oh, Joe Frazier. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. I'm back. Sorry about that. I normally have who the profile going to be for the week. This Friday is Smoking Joe Frazier. Going to be a good one. The life and career. What the hell happened? Of Smoking Joe Frazier. Am I still here? Oh my goodness. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Can you still hear me? That display is gone. How long it's been like that? I mean, I gotta get back in here. Gee, Merry Christmas, man. Can y'all still hear me? Oh. Yeah, but Smoking Joe Frazier this week. Okay? The life and career. Yep, that's gonna be a good one. Don't miss that one. Here I come. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We're right at the beginning of another big week of boxing history. Just Do Boxing coming up next. We got the Mighty Rise podcast shutting it down for us tonight. I don't know if my people can hear me. Maybe not. But I'm fixing it. What happened? Give it right at the beginning of another big week of boxing history. Cass Sports, the box story. Man. Hope everybody, how was everybody's weekend? We got the big man. Big light heavyweight showdown coming up next weekend. Not yet. Okay. Man. Just bear with me for a minute. I have a little technical difficulties here. This is crazy. Bear with me for a minute, Joe. Okay. Time I get back, everybody gonna be gone. Okay, here we go. Okay. Can everybody hear me though? Somebody put a thumbs up in there, so they must can. I don't know what that was. There we go. There we go.